This is a desk setup belonging to my brother-in-law Chris, who uses this setup for his job in UX design, which he does mostly from home. With a nice sit-stand desk, dual monitors, a gaming PC, and an ergonomic office chair, it's pretty nice, but I know it's completely possible to make it so much better even on the slimmest of budgets. So in this video, I'm going to show you what I do to turn a somewhat generic work from home desk setup from pretty good to great. Taking stock of what we have here, Chris's setup is in an all-white room that just so happens to be exactly the same as mine, just a few floors down. For the desk, it's a sit-stand variant from Autonomous with an Asus 1440p dual monitor setup that's powered by a white NZXT H510 gaming PC. On the desk, he has a blue Snowball mic for meetings, a Razer wired keyboard and wired Logitech gaming mouse that sit on a large black mouse pad that covers most of the desk. And this is accompanied by some Bose QC35 noise-cancelling headphones, some Logitech speakers, as well as all the other items that you'd expect to live on a surface like this one. Chris was kind enough to give me the reins in completely transforming this desk setup, and when getting started, the main problem that stood out to me was the fact that the space feels rather cold, as there's very little here in the way of visual warmth and texture, and as this is the place where Chris spends most of his time, the challenge was finding a way to make this space more inviting and overall a more tidy and appealing place to be in. When it comes to adding in a bunch of texture and warmth to a room like this one, the easiest and most effective strategy is to simply add in a rug, because it helps with both comfort underfoot and echo in the room that's there due to the hard floors. The rug that we chose was a jute and sisal area rug from IKEA, which is durable enough to handle the abrasion from chair wheels and the constant shuffling of feet underneath the desk. And because jute and sisal are natural materials, it helps to balance the somewhat sterile white laminate and metal surfaces that are a part of this setup, making the whole space feel warmer and more inviting with just this one item, while also visually anchoring the desk and chair down within the room, as furniture groups without rugs underneath them can almost feel as if they're floating in the space, which can make the room feel a little bit cluttered and unfinished. On the desk itself, despite the white surface being great for making a room feel brighter and hiding dust buildup, it can easily feel sterile. So a great way to add some warmth while also reducing visual clutter is to include a desk shelf. If you can afford it, this makes desk shelves a win-win, and here I'm using Ugmonk's Gather system as the centerpiece, which incorporates an incredibly heavy and solid, yet aesthetically light and minimal, folded metal shelf that sits on 4 slender maple legs. What's really cool about this system is that everything is magnetic, which makes it incredibly satisfying to use, and provides the added assurance in knowing that there's no way that anything's going to be knocked out of place, which is great for those of us who are exhaustingly obsessive with our workspaces. All of the components provide everything that you need for your pens, post-it notes, your phone, and even all of your other trinkets. And the folded powder-coated white metal is beautifully offset with these gorgeous maple wooden accents. These magnetic components all snap together on a separate metal tray and on the metal desk shelf itself, which is heavy and sturdy enough to use as a monitor riser and also as a place to store papers, notepads, and hide all of the other bits of desk clutter that you might have. And I find that the space underneath is perfect for storing tech products like a laptop, tablet, or e-reader, which makes it incredibly easy to appear organized even if you're one of the laziest of persons. On the desk surface itself, I decided to switch out the large black mousepad for a synthetic leather option to soften the look of this setup even further, as a black mat on a white desk can create a lot of contrast, which does tend to lean towards a colder or sharper, sterile looking environment. So this grey synthetic leather desk mat provides a softer yet brighter tone and makes the desk feel a little bit more mature, as it moves away from the gamer and tech-focused material of the previous desk mat to one that's more hard-wearing and with a more premium look, with the added benefit of the fact that it doesn't attract dust or crumbs nearly as much, and it costs less than $20 US. However, if pinpoint mouse tracking and smooth swiping is a must for those of us who are pretty avid gamers, a separate smaller mouse pad could be purchased that can be hidden away when it's not in use, which would also help Chris to mentally separate the desk's two use cases, so it's really clear when it's in either work mode or gaming mode. Of course, when it comes to Chris's peripherals, a wired keyboard and wired mouse isn't the cleanest of options. However, going wireless isn't something that you have to do for a cleaner setup, as this can be made a lot more elegant by adding in small colour-matched Velcro ties to bring these two wires together, which visually gathers them into one singular cable. And although this is a very small touch, if you're on a budget, it's an easy way to make your setup look a lot cleaner, as there's simply one less wire sprawling over your desk. Additionally, the mic is another wired device that also needs a home on this desk. And as the Blue Snowball's supplied mic stand isn't the prettiest of things, and as the extra cable isn't something that we really want to draw attention to, by simply mounting it on a budget mic arm, it can be easily maneuvered out of the way when it's not in use, freeing up valuable desk space and making it easier to use the mic when it's needed, whilst also tidying up more of the pre-existing visual clutter. This strategy of moving things up and off the desk can do so much to make a desk feel larger and tidier. So following on from this, I swapped out his current desk lamp to a Light Bar Pro from Contis. Light bars are a great way to save space as they provide the light exactly where you need it, without needing a base of a task lamp taking up space and cluttering the desk. And as light bars camouflage themselves as part of the monitor, it means that you barely even perceive them being there. This particular model comes with a really nice control wheel that provides stepless dimming to adjust the brightness and color temperature, meaning that you can adjust the desk's task lighting between cool, which is more appropriate for work mode, and warm, which is better suited to relaxation. And because this is all done from the desk, it saves you from reaching up and wobbling your monitor to change it. And as an added bonus, because it's USB powered, it means that it can run off the back of most monitors, which results in yet another cable that doesn't need to be managed down to an outlet. With these changes alone, the setup looks so much cleaner and more inviting. But this setup still isn't complete, as this last addition may be the very best bang for your buck when it comes to desk setup aesthetics. This solution often gets overlooked as it's not really an item that's truly essential. However, ambient lighting can make a huge difference to how a desk setup feels, as a home's default lighting is often way too harsh and makes everything feel a little bit cheap and unconsidered. For this, I'm using these self-adhesive dimmable LED strips that also have color temperature adjustment, which really matches the light bar nicely. And by sticking these along the back edge and underside of the desk, it washes a really nice glow of light up the wall and underneath the desk itself, which just looks so good. And honestly, this alone provides enough light to make this a really comfortable space to work at night. As this light strip is controlled by a remote, it can be easily switched on and off when needed. However, as the remote is a little bit ugly, I decided to use some Velcro strips to attach it underneath the desk so it can be easily turned on and off without having to see it. Finally, the last thing to take care of was cable management, where I continued using Velcro cable ties to bring all of the wires under the desk together, making them appear as one large singular cable, which looks much tidier compared to a tangle of separate wires, which honestly make me feel a little bit anxious. But with everything tidied up and the setup all plugged in, it was finally ready to go. By using design strategies like incorporating natural materials and grouping multiple objects together so that they appear as one, it can do so much to make a desk feel more spacious, calming, and inviting. And after revealing this setup to Chris, he's just found this to be an infinitely better place to work and game from. Aside from the Ugmonk shelf system, somehow, with the help of an IKEA sale for the rug, we managed to get all of this to come to under just $200 US, which even accounts for choosing the most expensive options for our lights, meaning that actually you could even get this look down to less than $150 if you went for the lower spec alternatives. If you enjoyed the tips that I gave here, make sure you're subscribed for more content just like this, and check out the recommended videos on screen as well as all of the products that I included in this video down in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.